All right, everybody, here we go. Good morning. Welcome to Against the Public for September 23rd. I'm Dana Lane. Today, we'll go through my top Major League Baseball free plays for Monday, as we usually do. After we finish, run on over to Pickdawgz.com. I'll have my Monday premium NFL plays locked and loaded along with Major League Baseball. You can jump on my single plays or take advantage of my three packs. I'll have one in Major League Baseball for just $49.99. And of course, we'll have one with the two Monday night games. You can get that three pack for just $54.99. Every three pack, every individual play always comes with our Pick Dawgz win guarantee. In addition, there's only one way to get every play that I release, and that's to simply become an all-access member. And I appreciate and thank you to everybody that has over this past weekend. You can get every play I release. That is including tomorrow's Monday Night Football side and total, the three-pack, Major League Baseball, upcoming NHL season, NBA, college basketball, the rest of Major League Baseball. You can become an all-access member over the next 30 days for less than $11 a day. You can also get on board with a 90-day pass for less than $10 a day, or better yet, just jump on that annual all-access pass, 365 days of selections for one low price. It comes out to be about $3.70 a day. You can throw it on your credit card, pay it off a little at a time, and we'll roll our sleeves up and we'll go to work for you every single day. You get every play from now to this point next year for just $3.70 a day. Okay, let's get to your free plays for Monday, and not a lot to choose from. It's kind of a short card, one of the shortest cards I've seen in Major League Baseball in quite a while. On a regular Monday, even though Monday's kind of a light day. But we do have three plays here that we're going to give you as far as four games, but three of them are going to be the free plays. So not a lot to choose from, but feel very confident with all three of these plays. And remember, each of these plays to check these are probable pitchers, so please make sure you double check before placing your wager. 7:07 Eastern Time, we'll start it off. Game one, 9:55, 9:56. Boston Red Sox against the Toronto Blue Jays. Blue Jays minus $1.20 at home, 8 under minus 15. Tanner Houck against Chris Bassett. And I have to start this preview by reminding everybody about Bo Bichette. If you follow baseball, you probably know already. But just in case you think Bo Bichette is playing, he came back, played one game, and he's back on the IL again. I guess I shouldn't be smiling about that, but smiling because I feel absolutely horrible for him. Of course, he was out for a long time with that calf injury, and now he's out with a broken finger, and unfortunately, this is probably the likely end of his career with the Toronto Blue Jays. Early betting patterns show it may be a good idea to jump on this game now, but I would recommend just waiting, just maybe a little bit. Not as long as you normally would, but just wait a little bit, see where the number goes on this. I'll explain that in a second. We do see various five-figure wagers on Toronto. We also have one on the Red Sox at FanDuel out of Iowa. Let's see how that has affected the number. We see overall 61% of the money is on the Sox, along with 88% on the over. It does look like the Sox wager might be a little bit larger than the Jays wagers because there are some sites that have moved that number in favor of Boston. Tanner Houck, 8-10 this year, a 3.21 ERA. Normally those numbers say he lacks run support, but the truth is his overall run support is pretty good, 4.92 runs per game. Not bad, but sometimes you realize you might have to break that down just a little bit further. And when you do, you realize that of his 29 starts, 15 times the Sox have scored 4 runs or less, which is still not that bad. Usually we put it 3 runs or less as our filter, but 4 runs or less, just to give you an idea. And over half of his starts. Now he's had some monster run support this year, but over half of his support, or over half of his starts have been 4 runs or less. Chris Bassett, 10-13 this year, a 4.16 ERA, averaging just a tick under a strikeout an inning. His numbers might not be that great. But over his last 2 starts, Bassett is 1-0, a 1.86 ERA, and 1-1 over his last 4 starts, but a respectable 2.49 ERA to go with that 1-1 record. I'm gonna go ahead and take Toronto in this one, minus $1.20. I like Chris Bassett a lot. I think he'd be a lot better on a different team, and I also like him as a person too. And check out some of the charity work that he has done. We're not betting because of that, but just makes me happy when a guy like that has success in the major leagues. Game number 2, 8:10 Eastern Time, 9:57, 9:58. Seattle Mariners on the road against the Houston Astros. A massive series for Seattle. Astros minus $1.50, 8 under minus 15. Bryce Miller against Hunter Brown. And before we get into it, some sites are listing Luis Castillo as the starter for the Mariners, but everything I've seen so far says that Bryce Miller is going to take the ball. One confirmation on that. So even if your site says Luis Castillo, and they shouldn't by the time you get up in the morning, but I do see him right now. Believe me, Bryce Miller's getting the ball in this one. And that makes sense because this is probably the biggest game of the Seattle Mariners season. Of course, they're down by 5 games to the Houston Astros in the American League West. They have to sweep this series, and of course, Bryce Miller is their best option. The former Aggies 11-8 this year. He's 3.06 ERA. Over his last 3 starts, he's 1-0 with a 1 ERA and 2-1 over his last 3 starts with a 1.82 ERA. Hunter Brown, 11-8, 3.57 ERA, does average over a strikeout an inning. His last 5 starts have been almost as impressive as Miller, despite an 0-1 record, but the bullpen has let him down in 4 of those 5 games. Brown has allowed 2 runs or less, and then he gets pulled, and the bullpen absolutely implodes. So even though his record is not as good as you would think it would be over the period of time, he still gives you a chance to win, and we expect that to happen again today. So far, we've seen professional money on the over. Those customers were getting 7.5 at Sports Interaction and at Bet Rivers. If your book doesn't show 8 yet, wait, because I'm seeing a bunch of minus $1.20s to the over, which means we're about ready to burst into that 8 range at most books. So I think you'll probably see that when you log onto your accounts in the morning. If not, just wait a little bit, especially if you got minus $1.20 to the over. I think you'll see an 8 pretty soon. But we are going to go under the 8, minus $1.15. Both of these starters are going to give us a chance to cash that ticket. Game number 3, 9:40 Eastern Time, 9:53, 9:54. San Francisco Giants against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks minus $1.71. 9 over minus 15. Hayden Birdsong against Eduardo Rodriguez. Not a ton of movement on this game of late. But usually the majority of the action is going to come after the early games are over. So if you're waiting for some movement, you're going to have to wait just a little bit. Usually the late games are the ones that have the least amount of movement early on. So maybe it'll be different when you get to your apps in the morning or early afternoon. But if you're looking to get the best of the number, just wait a little bit. In fact, you can wait until the early games are over, and then everybody else tries to get on that game because it's a get-out game. There has been some movement towards the under at station casinos. I don't think we're going to see enough movement to wait very long on each side, even though it is the late game. So if you feel comfortable with where the number is right now, just jump on in at this point. I'm on the over here, but if you can get minus $1.15, that's probably as good as you're going to get on this game. So jump on that if you get minus $1.15. Anything a little bit higher than that, you have more than enough time to wait and see if it might come down. Hayden Birdsong, 4-5 this year, 4.74 ERA. He's a guy that has an electric arm, but with 16 walks in his last 21 1/3 innings, he has been in and out of high leverage situations quite a bit. Over his last 4 starts, Birdsong is just 1-2 with a 5.19 ERA. On the road, Birdsong is 3-3 with a 5.55 ERA. Eduardo Rodriguez was going to be making his 9th start of the season. Spent the first 4 months of the year on the injured list, and since his return, he's 3-3 with a 5.09 ERA, and over his last 5 starts, he's 1-3 with a 5.84 ERA. The good news for our wager is the Diamondbacks are 5-3 when Rodriguez starts, which means that they score a ton of runs for him. And when we looked, of course, 5.22 runs per game. I think this goes over the 9 quite easily, minus $1.15. So that does it for your Monday free plays. Please go to pickdawgz.com. Get involved with one of my many available packages, including my all-access pass that gives you every play I release for one low price. Before we go, I just want to remind you as well, the WNBA postseason started on Sunday, and we smashed Sunday's card. So what I did was I put a WNBA postseason package up there. It's just $99.99. Gives you every WNBA play from now to the end of the year until they crown a champion. So if you were with me yesterday on those WNBA plays, just throw that money on a season pass, and we'll take you all the way through the championship. So here's your Monday free play recap. Toronto minus $1.20, Seattle, Houston under 8 minus 15, San Francisco, Arizona over 9 minus $1.15. That does it for today's show. Thank you so much to everyone who watches on a daily basis. Please hit that like and subscribe button. For Against the Public, I'm Dana Lane. All the best to you and your wagers on Monday.